What is going on? T to the M to the I D D. We are live. We are streaming. It is Thursday, May the 19th, 2022. Another day to make a live video with T-Mid. Now, in this particular video, I wanted to go over a few things when it comes to starting studio photography. And in particular, I wanted to narrow it down to the 5 things that I would say, being in the position that I am now, I would need to start a studio set. Now, the things that I call out in this video are going to be a middle ground for the things that you can acquire. So you can by all means get something cheaper via Amazon or whatever resource, or you can, go all out and get something a bit more expensive. But these are the things that if I went and asked someone, I was just starting out photography, and I wanted to shoot inside a studio, create my own studio, these are the things that I would have wanted someone to tell me just to start. And I'm putting an emphasis on the just to start, because what you think you may be into something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you will stick to it. So, for example, some people like off-camera flash. Some people only like natural light. So I wouldn't tell you to go buy the most expensive thing, because you may not end up sticking with it. However, the things that I'm going to talk about are things that I feel like are kind of a middle ground, so that if you didn't continue with it, it wouldn't be as much of a loss as if you would have went for something that was like that much more expensive. So we're going to get into it, name off it. And this list it was kind of hard, because when you talk about 5 things, now some of these things that I'm going to name, I feel like it's a situation where you can get combos with some of them. So if you hear like adapters or things like that, I feel like those aren't the most essential things. So what I'm going to stick to with this are the most essential things. So let me know if you do studio photography, or do you just stay outdoors? You prefer on location? And I also want to raise the question to you all. If somebody asked you, what is an essential thing that I would need for studio photography, what would you tell them? What would be your one thing? What's going on, SJ? How you doing, Bree? So if someone came to you and said, I'm a beginner photographer, I'm using natural light right now, I'm getting into off-camera flash, but I really want to shoot inside a studio, because a lot of people that are looking to book me, they are requesting a studio, so I need to get a quick studio set up. What would be one thing that you would tell them that they absolutely need to have for their in-home studio? Because we know a lot of people are not equipped with a lot of space, or renting out other spaces can be expensive as well. So they're going to do it inside their home, like you see me do, a million times. What would be that one thing? How are you doing? I do not want to butcher your name, but I'm going to try to take a shot at it. Nusi. Extraordinaire. Yes. Let's go with if you all. So I'm doing my top 5. If you all could type your top 5, type your top 5 as well. So I'm gonna do my top 5, and I want you to type your top 5. And I want it to be from all of you all's perspective, because there will be people who will go back and watch this video, and it will definitely help them to see my perspective and also see people's perspective that are in the chat as well. So, and I'm also going to touch base with you all on why you pick some of the things that you picked. Now, keep in mind, you starting from nothing, but you want just a really quick setup. Now, what's going to be your top 5 things for that setup? My crypto world. How you doing? It's me, Wayne Head. How you doing? Oh, you thinking about opening a new studio? Okay. Yeah, let's keep them going. Give me y'all top 5. Okay. So, the first thing that I am going to start off with, let me put this as kind of like the thing to know, so that you don't put this inside with everything. You already have your camera and you already have your lens, so you don't have to worry about that. So besides you already having your camera, what is everything else that you would need for a quick studio setup? Now, the first thing that I am going to say is mentioning lights at option, or is that automatic? Now, the only thing that's automatic is having the camera. So that's the only thing. Okay. So the first thing that I am going to say, if I went and I asked somebody right now the 5 things that I need, the first thing I'm going to say is, I'm going to say you absolutely need to have a light source. Now, when you all say what you need, if you have a recommendation, also drop that in the chat as well, because it's good to have several recommendations. So I'm going to put all of my recommendations kind of at a middle tier. And the reason why is because I want to leave room for people to budgets to either, if they splurge, they can get something more expensive. If they can't meet the middle tier and they want to scale back, they have a cheaper option. Okay. So we have backdrop stand, Savage backdrop, trigger, backdrop stand. Okay. So make sure y'all hit that like button for me also. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is a light. And the light that I'm going to go with for a studio setup, the light that I'm going to go with is this light right here, no other than the Godox MS300. I'm going to say the Godox MS300. And the reason why I'm going to say the Godox MS300, it is at $109 price point. But this is kind of like one of those things where it can be included. And I would tell them to go with the package that includes the trigger. So you can get the Godox MS300 with the trigger. And so that will probably come up to around $160 altogether. Now, the reason why I am going to go with the Godox MS300 is, one, is for a studio space, right? So you don't have to worry about the recharging. Also, it gives you options with the reflector that comes with it and the modeling lamp, and then also the handle that's on there already has a adapter that allows you to put an umbrella in that light as well. So efficiency, it's been really efficient for me. So I definitely can't complain about that. But that would be the light I would go to without a doubt. Okay, let's see what else we got. Enoch says quality light, decent space. Okay. We got it's Wayne Head, the backdrop stand, Savage backdrop paper, Godox MS300, Softbox 30-inch or bigger. Okay. So we got strong, what's that, a strong 4 right there or strong 5? Okay. Let me see what else everybody else thinking. I like that setup right there. So definitely that Godox MS300. Somebody actually asked me if they should get the 200 or the 300, and the Godox MS200 is $5 cheaper. And so for $5, they shoot low key stuff, so they were worrying about the power being too much. But as I explained some of the features, then they figured out that the MS300 could still do what they were looking to do. So I would say Godox MS300 without a doubt. And I would get the combo package that comes with the trigger. And so right there, one light setup. Listen, those one light setups, I will do a one light setup in 1 second. with the right situation, that one light gonna get you right every single time. I'm not, and that's probably one of my go-to setups. So I cannot lie about that. All right, so extraordinaire Speedlite / strobe. Okay, trigger, soft boxes, Lightstand, clamps. Listen, now that is a great. That's a great piece right there. Now, the clamps. Sometimes you can get a set that comes with clamps. So depending on what you get, but the clamps come in handy with so much more than backdrops or things like that. Like, clamps even come in handy when it comes to clothing. I don't know how many times a model couldn't fit like a dress, and I would take a clamp and like clamp the back of it to make it more form fitting. So clamps, if you don't have clamps, trust me, you need a couple clamps in the bag. All right, West for 2024, what's going on? So the next thing that I would get, now if y'all have specific brands, remember to put it in the chat because I want to touch on some of the things that you all might be offering. And actually, let me go back for a second. The Godox MS300 is kind of the studio lighting strobe. Now, for flexibility, you could get a Speedlite, and a Speedlite that I would recommend would be a Young Newell 560 version 4, and you can get that and the trigger for around $80. Now, with the Godox MS300, you get 300 watt seconds of light, but with the Speedlite, you only get 80. Now, inside the studio, I have been able to still get shots with a Speedlite that only has that amount of power. So it's not a problem there. But the thing that I don't like about the Young Newell was the fact that I had to keep replacing the battery. So you're talking about for an extra $30, I would go with the light that plugs up and gives me about 220 watts of light power more. What's going on, Shot by Towns? Okay, so extraordinaire Flashpoint 8200 Pro or 8300. Okay. So you're going straight. They ain't got no budget. You going straight to the top. I'm trying to give them some breathing room, right? But I guess, even if you still did get that, you still would have like Pro Photo and Ellen Chrome and Alien Bees and lights like that cost more. So, but that will offer flexibility in terms of them being able to shoot outside or shoot inside. So, that could be another piece that could be added to it. If they wanted that flexibility, then I will probably definitely steer them towards that direction. Now, if they come into it and say that, well, my budget doesn't look like Godox is going to be effective, I would definitely probably send them to the Neewer side, because Neewer has strobes that are significantly cheaper and can still get the job done. Okay, so that's 2 recommendations on lights: Godox MS300 and Young Newell 560, and you can get both of those that come with the triggers. Okay, so Ryan, for tape, female essential products such as oil, hairspray, brushes. 5, faith. Your situation may be temporary, but the space right now will create magic. Just wait on it. Ryan, I like that, because I didn't think about none of those things. And you know what? It be the smallest things that the models always need. Like the last time my model needed a hairpin, and I don't have a hairpin. So it be those things that we don't even think about sometimes that could save the day. So that's why I like getting everybody's perspective, because it be those things that you would say like, I'm not ever going to need this, and you get it, and you get somebody that's like, hey, do you have a needle and some thread so I can sew or stitch this up really quick? And you'd be like, so think about those things that we don't think about. That's the real key to this situation. Speedlight it up. I came from the humble beginnings with Speedlights, so that's also a reason why I ran from studio and went to sports. I definitely understand that. Look, my Young Newell was giving out on me. Like, I take a couple shots, but then also, with learning to sometimes push that ISO up to be able to decrease that power on that Speedlite could help a lot and keep those batteries low. So Shot by Towns, Flashpoint 400 Pro, C-Stand, umbrella. Okay. Okay, I like that combo. Now the 400 is going to be straight. We ain't got no budget. Cause I'm thinking like all right, so if you're a beginner and you see the price of that 400, how many of you would be hesitant? Like, oh man, $500-$600. I mean, if you could find the used, that'd be even better. But would you be like, oh, this is too expensive? At what price point, if you were getting into studio photography, would you say is too much for you? Are you like 200 is range for a light, or would you be looking for something cheaper? Like what that's what I'm thinking about. So what do you all think? Don't let Ryan hear you. Godox 8300 Pro. Everything I listed you could use in the studio and outside. That's what I use. Oh yeah, facts. Exactly. Now that's where that flexibility come in. So if you have somebody that wants that flexibility, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to take them towards those products. That T-Med special spray. Yeah, you gotta have the spray. You that's essential now. Now that is essential. I don't even know where. I don't see it right here, but I normally keep the spray beside me because I need to open up a store and start selling it. Okay, 8300 Pro, you can definitely use it outside. Yeah, that's for sure. So the next thing that I'm gonna say, and I'm still looking for some of y'all list as well. So if you have anything, make sure you drop it. The next thing I'm going to say is a light modifier. Now, listen, I started with the Godox with the rods that you had to put in each corner, and it was the 24 by 24 square. Listen, I don't wish that on nobody, because when you finally understand like what's out there for you to use, then you know what you could do. So I would say, like, if they don't have an extensive budget, I would say 25. But I would even realistically, I would tell them to add $10 and get the 34-inch. $10 more, you can get that 34-inch. And I would go Easy Lock, Beauty Dish, and the silver interior. Now, for $25, you can get the 69, but ideally, I would want the 34, and that's 79. And the silver, so it's mixed. It's mixed reviews, right? A lot of people like the white interior. A lot of people like the silver. A lot of people say the white gets dirty, and then you don't get the uniform lighting as much as the silver. So you got different battles going on there. So 60-inch Easy Lock. It's like, listen, if you're a beginner trying to get a studio, or set your studio up, and you get a 60-inch, listen, I have that 65-inch umbrella, and it barely be working in my space. Now, I just did some shots for my niece, that was in another part of my house, but it has like way higher ceilings. So I thought about transitioning my setup to that part of my house, because that 60-inch, I could like extend it all the way up. I was like, this is what I need in the basement. Like, I almost contemplated. Y'all would have been seeing a whole different setup. Actually, in my video where I compared the iPhone 13 to the DSLR and the Nikon Z7 II, I was in that different space and I was taking advantage of it because I had the 65-inch and I had it all the way up, and I have no problem with ceiling space. So yeah, but for somebody, might be limited to space, 34-inch is what I'm going to say. So let me know if you just joining. Appreciate y'all joining me on this topic. Is for beginners setting up a studio space. If you have 5 things that you could tell them, what would be your 5 things that you would tell them that they need for a studio space? And a camera and a lens is already given. So yeah, the Easy Glow 34-inch. I like easy lock. Now you can go cheaper, and Neewer has some products. Even Godox has some products that's cheaper. But if you want to go more expensive, then you have the Westcott and all those good pro photos and things like that. But if you me, I'm going with Godox, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so the next thing that I am going to say. Now, this is a essential piece. I don't know why I always go live and I don't have my hard drive connected, but I literally just did. What's going on, James? I literally just did. Let me pull this up for you all because I feel like it's worth pulling up. I kind of did like a running joke on myself, which was funny because I went out to this DC street meet I got invited to, and I was out there, and look, everybody's light. All right, let me show you all this. Let me show you all this. So the next thing is going to be, Ryan, you wrote your other 3 essentials. Okay. So if you haven't watched this video, this is a video on my channel. And Nikon, Canon, Fuji. It was a street meet in DC. And I kind of flash back like 2 points where my light fell. And if you can see back here, it's kind of blurry, but this is a 33.4-inch deep parabolic connected to a 8300 Pro. And this is a cheap, like $15 stand that I was using. And this fell over so many times during my setup. So the street meet was like 2 months ago in March, and this is the video of it. So if you haven't seen it, you could definitely check it out. It's kind of like an overview. And so this stand just kind of fell, and it fell over and over again because of the $15 stand that I had it on with all that weight. Now, I say all of that to say the next thing that you need, and there are some variations, but if I'm going to recommend the stand, I'm going to recommend this stand. Let's see. This. So it doesn't have to be the most expensive stand. Like you see this one is $213. Neewer, I actually have a Neewer one, and it's a cheaper one that I had got for maybe $125, but it is a C-stand and it is stainless steel. And I absolutely would tell you, get a stainless steel C-stand. Now, remember, there's always some breathing space. So there's another brand called Impact that has a C-stand that isn't stainless steel, but it is still built durable. And the main thing that I would say to get, and the reason why I would say to get, is because it's more reliable with holding the weight of your light in your softbox. But even more so, get a C-stand with a boom arm. Now, this boom arm that you see right here, man, that the butterfly setup where you have the light directly over top of the model is like my favorite setup. And so if you don't have that boom that can extend it off, camera left, camera right, then you would be shooting, if you have the light right in front of the model, this pole would be right in front of the model essentially. And so you have an obstruction that you have to maneuver around to get the shot, especially if you're shooting like me with like a 70 to 200, then it kind of limits your ability. Now I might have to shoot with a 50, but with this boom arm, it gives me a couple feet to the left or to the right so that this main pole isn't in the way and I can shoot directly towards the model. Now that boom arm, I don't know what I would do without it. I don't know how I was using that flimsy $15 that $15 stand for so long. I mean, that video I showed you of it falling, that was like 2020. Yeah, that was 2020. So it was a little while ago. But I used that Lightstand for maybe like a year and a half or 2 years. So C-stand. I wouldn't even say get no other stand. I would say C-stand with a boom arm. Trust me. Can't go wrong. That's what you need. Okay. So, Charles, hey, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by and giving me a like. I appreciate that. So, extraordinaire. I recommend PBL air cushion stands to support your backdrops and a crossbar, or just make sure your stands are air cushioned. Okay. Appreciate that, James. So we're going to go into the next thing. Now, when you shape different lighting, you can get different colors. And you don't always have a lot of different colors to work with when you first start out, right? So I see a lot of people want, oh, do you have a purple backdrop? Do you have a pink backdrop? Do you have a red backdrop? And you like, I only have one backdrop. So if you all had to choose to buy a backdrop, what would the first color backdrop be for you? What would your first color backdrop be? You can only buy one. You can only buy one. Let me know. And it is about that time. T-Mid time. So let me know where you all are watching from right now. Let's see who we have in the live, showing some love to T-Mid on this good Thursday. It may be Friday, depending on where you at. How you doing, Jordan Gordon? Okay, James says white. James, PG County. Okay. Jordan Gordon, I would choose white. Okay. Hezekiah, Dallas. Okay. So we have white. So I would definitely say that would be my next purchase that I would tell them to go with. Now, I'm not necessarily sure of the space they may have, right? So let's see and pull this. Okay. And so as far as the brand, I would say go with the Savage brand. That seems to be like a universal brand that everybody loves using, and it hasn't done me any wrong either. And as far as the size, see, you really have to know the space that they have, but I would go with the 53 by, it's a 53 inch by 36 foot size that they have. Now, in the big size is the 86 inch, which is what I have in white. And I would go with the color white also because it just offers a lot more flexibility for me, especially when you put that inverse square law with light and how you can make the light degrade and, get kind of a gray color if you want that. So you have some flexibility there. But yeah, I would go with the 53. Now, the thing that, and you all can let me know this as well. I started off with the, let's call it 4.5 foot wide. Now you start to see some problems with that because you end up having to do a lot of post processing to make the backdrop look bigger than it actually is. And if your model wants to get creative with poses, that could be a lot more work that you have to do in terms of stretching your backdrop or, filling in the spaces where maybe the model leg isn't on the backdrop. So now you got to do some creative clone, stamp, stretch, transform, whatever magic you have to do in Photoshop to make it look like she was on a bigger backdrop than what she was. So I immediately got the bigger size backdrop because one, I had one model, if y'all remember, Japanese, she was tall and she came with the poses. So the poses she was doing, that little 4 foot backdrop was not doing her no justice. Her leg would be all the way over here, arm would be all the way over here, and I'm in Photoshop like, why did I do this to myself? So I immediately got that bigger backdrop, and that's some limitations when you start to see it. Okay, we got Chicago, Kingston, Atlanta. So have you all seen any limitations with those smaller backdrops? Like, because that was like something that I had immediately seen. I was limited on poses. It made me do a lot more work in Photoshop, and I was like, I might as well spend the money and not have to do all this work in Photoshop because this is ridiculous. It was just too much work. So you start seeing that the extra work that you have to do in post isn't worth it, and you like, let me just pay that extra $30 or $40 to get that wider backdrop. Now sometimes you don't have space because this backdrop that I was just showing you all is 86 inches long. Now, if you do the math, that's almost like 8 feet. So not everybody has like a clear 8 feet across to be able to put a backdrop, So sometimes you have to go with that 4.5 foot one and make it work. Okay. So the backdrop. So far, we are talking about the 5 things that you would tell someone starting a studio space that they need, given they already have a camera and a lens. So the first thing that I said was lighting, a Godox MS300. Here you can get the package that comes with the trigger. The second thing that I said was a modifier. I would go preferably with an Easy Lock Glow 34-inch beauty dish. The third thing is a C-Stand with a boom arm. Emphasis on the boom arm, because the boom arm offers you so much flexibility, and a stainless steel version would be optimal for, durability and things like that. Fourth thing, a backdrop. I think we all agreed that a white backdrop would be the first go-to backdrop because I believe that was my first backdrop as well, if I'm not mistaken. Now that plexiglass that I use have saved many of backdrops. So the last thing, I don't use any less than 8.5 by 10 foot backdrop. Now, look, when you have space to do that, it saves you so much time when you don't have to worry about, a lot of times when I use those smaller backdrops, I'm always looking to see, like, all right, is my model like in the middle? Do I have like the edges of the backdrop free so that if I need to stretch this backdrop, it's easy for me to do? Because it's nothing like having to do that extra work in Photoshop that, it could take easily 15, 20, 25 minutes to do. So if you don't know, now you know. Okay. Now, the last thing that I am going to say, and keep dropping where y'all are watching from, if you can. We got Jamaica, Chicago. We got Maryland, Dallas, Atlanta. Okay. And so the last thing that I'm going to say is no other than Mike Lewis, Haiti. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Gerald, what's going on? We got PA. The last thing. Let me know y'all top 5 things. We already got some people that gave their top 5. I need to see. What else we got going on here. And let's see. Let me turn this. Okay. So the last thing is we talked about the backdrop. So what do we need with the backdrop? We need a backdrop holder. 5 things you would tell someone they need for their studio setup. They're just starting a studio. Okay, so Jordan, my learning curve was rough in Photoshop with the smaller backdrops when I first had to deal with the extension. And that's exactly what I mean. If you don't know all of the tools in Photoshop, trying to extend that backdrop in Photoshop can be a nightmare. It can be a nightmare. So that's why trying to save some people a headache if possible. Okay, so the last thing that I would say to hold that backdrop, y'all let me know what type of backdrops stands do you all have? But you might be able to notice the one that I use, and I still been using it. I had this since about 2018. And you could tell I had it since 2018 because the crossbar has like a little dip in it. It's not about the crossbar too much more. I don't know what day it's gonna give out on me, but it's giving me a nice little sag in the bottom. But we gonna fix it when it break. If it ain't broken, we ain't gonna fix it. And this is the one that I have. Yeah, James, I said the Godox MS300 would definitely be a great light to have to start off with. Okay, so we got the Varipole. Yeah, I love that Varipole system. So for a beginner, I would say this Mart. This is the one that I have, and this is where, this is the one that I started out with. Correction, I started out with this one. Now, the reason why I switched, for anyone who doesn't know, is because if you can see these 3 legs that support the stand, it was taking up space in my basement. And so when I wanted to use backlights, I would have another stand that the light would sit on that would conflict with these legs. So it was causing a cramped space. With that Varipole system, you don't have these legs. It's just one pole from floor to ceiling. And so I could easily put my backlights there without having any clutter down by the legs. And then also you get the crossbar, and you get these sandbags and these clamps, and that's $53. And that's a pretty decent deal. Now, the build quality, but if you're just trying to make it, I'm telling you. And the thing that I did was, now that I don't use these leg stands anymore, I just put lights on these, and I use these stands as light holders. So when you see like the videos that I do in my home studio, the lights that are actually lighting that area up are lights from that Mart set. So I just use those and light the whole room up. So I still get some use from it. So I started with Allen Chrome D-Light 400 kit. Started out nice. Newer metal Lightstand can hold them heavier lights like 8400. Yeah. So that is exactly the Lightstand that I have, is the newer one, and it is solid. It is solid. My lights used to fall every day. Now my lights don't fall no more. Actually, so that was probably like one of the best investments that I made. I can't lie, because I didn't have a light stand support like that, and my Godox 8300 took one too many falls, and eventually it cracked the LCD screen. And at that point, I said, yeah, let me buy this light stand to support it. Now, it's heavy, I will say that. So it kind of prompted another purchase. I bought the the stainless steel C-Stand, but I like to shoot outside too. So when I took the C-Stand outside, it was heavy. So then I ended up buying a wagon to push the C-Stand. So the purchase never ends. Not sure if you said gels as yet for the studio setup. Gels are another thing that can extend your creativity. So we had a few people say their top 5 things already. So if you have a top 5 that you would suggest to somebody, definitely write that down in the chat, because a lot of people are probably going to replay this, and that will be helpful information for them. All right, so you can also go with the Owens original home studio kit. 3 lights, 3 stands, 1 backdrop setup with 2 backdrops, around $500 or less. That's not bad. Now, how good of a quality is that? Are you on PPA, DC, or Maryland? Insure your gear to get them replaced if they fall. Yeah, so the PPA was something that was afterwards. So I did get the LCD for it. I'm kind of a do it myself type of person. But that might be a video to come. Yeah, that wagon. Now, if you all do on location stuff, that wagon will save you. Static lights, but they serve the purpose when you're just starting out. Yeah. So that's the same thing with my studio lighting setup. Is they became like backup lights just to light the room. You know, we only making one trip carrying bags. Yeah, you trying to have everything and in one stop. That's for sure. So that's like my top five things that I would say for a studio setup. That is my top 5 things, and I think that would help someone get through. Now, the most essential thing I would say out of all of those things, to me, see, it's only 5, so all of them are essential. But when I look back at what I've been able to create, one of the most essential pieces to me was the light modifier. Being able to shape that light can give you so much flexibility with your shots, especially like if you have that deflector plate, or if you have that grid for that light modifier, if you can have it double diffused, if you can have a single diffused, if you just shoot with the deflector plate to get, harsh light, you can get a couple of different looks out of it. And if you're just starting out, you might not know that. You might take that 24 by 24 square softbox and think that is it. But you don't know what you don't know, right? So when you actually look and you're like, oh man, I could have been creating like this if I had this. That's why I kind of would go with the Easy Lock Glow. Have you ever had to worry about a permit when shooting in the city? So permits, I try to stay away from places that require permits because they are a headache just in general. Though the one time that I had a problem was, it was somewhere in Maryland. I just seen kind of like this space that I wanted to shoot, and as soon as I took out my C-Stand, the security came and like swarmed me. Like it was crazy. It was like, no, you can't do that here. You have to have a permit. And so I wasn't able to use that area. It happened at the National Harbor here in Maryland also. In the garage, we were trying to do a photo shoot there. And the security, no, you can't shoot here. So those places I try to avoid, especially if it's like a paid client. It's nothing worse than having a paid client. You take them to a place and it's like, oh yeah, you can't shoot here. No good. So I try to stay away from that. Now, that's kind of the main topic of this setup. Now I do have. Let me show you all this really quick, because if you don't know, I have a a monthly Wednesday session where you share your image. All right. Okay, so I guess that is over. Let me go to this phone. And so on Wednesday, May the 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you have created something that you would like to show, I am going to be live allowing people to share the latest image that they have created. Now, let's see how the lighting is right here. Oh. Yep. All right, let me turn my screen brightness down. Yeah, you still probably won't be able to see it as good. But essentially what it's saying is that I have a IG live scheduled for the 25th. And so the 25th, if you have an image that you would like to share with me, you can come on to the IG live and share your latest image that you created. What's going on, David? That's a night guy for you. Yeah, so if you want to share your latest image, definitely tune in to that. And also the gist of it is to be able to and inspire others to keep creating, because sometimes we all lose that motivation from time to time to create. You might think things aren't going good for you. You might lost inspiration or thoughts on creative ideas, and just seeing what other people have done could spark an idea in you. That is one thing. The other thing is being able to have your work shown, across different places. Like last time that I went live, I had Prince Mason come on, and he shared some of his images, but also we had people from Ireland, Ghana, South Africa, Canada, South America. It was like people was from everywhere. And so that just means that your work is shown globally. So, if you're looking for growth of things like that, or just people in other places to see your work, is definitely a great place to be able to showcase that. And I have been afforded that just through the community that I have built so far through YouTube, connecting me with people in all of these different continents. So if you are, looking for things like that, it's another great way to have your work seen. Also, models and creating with other photographers, it can open up an avenue for collaboration amongst other photographers and even models. I have models that's in different states. Actually, I had one in a different country that contacted me like, I want to do a photo shoot with you. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in Africa, so that's not gonna work. But if I do make it over there, we can make it happen. but that just goes to show, like, a lot of people can be in the same area and don't even know. And I know one of the things that happens with us as creatives is that sometimes we get stuck in our own kind of lane and, get tunnel vision, and we don't seek the resources that we have with other creatives that may be in our area. And so that's another thing that I'm trying to pull out, is that, a lot of people that's in the community may be closer than you think you are, and could make for some great content creation from photographer to photographer, but also from models, because models watch as well. And, you know, if you are into trade for print or collabs with models, things like that, they may have a look that you want that could be beneficial as well. So there are benefits throughout the whole entire IG live, whether it's gaining knowledge from, you know, different setups or techniques that people use. And you definitely will see some different things. Like, I know the first time that I even did it, it wasn't even a thing. But when I did it the first time, a lot of people gave me good feedback and like wanted to see it. So I was like, you know, like, let's try to keep this going. And the first time that we did it, it was nice because you got people from sports photography, you had food photography, you had portraits, you had people doing landscapes. It was just everywhere. And that was the beauty of it. It was like people were doing everything under the sun. So we gotta keep that going as a community. And that's the bigger picture that I see. Yeah, we straddle the line, but nothing too crazy, right? Because, you know, T-May, I am a PG-13 type of guy. I'm a very I'm a very reserved guy when it comes to images. You know, I need my models to be fully clothed and layered up in all of the images that I take. So you won't see anything crazy coming from this guy here, right? Yeah. So no, it is a we got Photo Me Live, or that's the account you want to be on today. So no, it's definitely a wide range. We kind of straddle the line in terms of, you know, lingerie. It's totally cool, but as long as, you know, it don't go as far as like complete nudity, get the IG shut down, then, you know, that's a whole different ball game. We trying to keep the segment Creative Wednesdays going into full effect. And that time, again, let me let you all know, is Wednesday, May 25th at 7 p.m. Now, the hard thing that kind of goes around it is because we have some people on the West Coast right now. We have some people on the East Coast. We have I don't know, are you still in here from Haiti? Like, what time is it in Haiti right now? Then you have some people, like I went live the other day. I had people from the UK getting on, and I had people in Kenya. And I say all that to say that I try to find a time that works, but it's hard to find a time for all those time zones. It's like, it's almost impossible. Like right now, like somebody got on at one point at this time. They were in Australia, but they said they were on the west side of Australia. So it was the next day. And I'm like, I don't know how to pick that perfect time to be able to get everybody comfortably on at the same time, right? So that's one thing. that's one thing that I'm working on. So at first I had it at 8 p.m., but then I changed it because I was like, let's try 7. It's kind of straddling the line. So this is the flyer for it right here. So this is the flyer. So essentially, you show your best image and pretty much give a 1 to 2 minute breakdown of your setup, lighting, composition, gear, settings, and that's more so to help others. I want to encourage helping others create, right? And so through my channel, you are able to see what I create, even if it starts out rough or it ends up being rough and it doesn't be what I want, right? So just that information for somebody that might just be starting could be vital, right? Like some people, like when I first started, I didn't know anything about f-stop. So I didn't know how to get people in focus that were at different depths. I never used f-stop. So when you say those settings to somebody who never used it, that could be insightful. Like, okay, how do I change this to F8? Why did you use F8? And those are the type of things that, could help us out. So that would be that synopsis. Also, I'm gonna try to have some models come in and share like some projects that they may have worked in. So I'm trying to merge it with photographers and models. It's mainly photographers right now, but the model piece would be good because it would allow for the collaboration with other photographers who may be in their area. Another big thing with this is I notice a lot of people are not comfortable going live, which is totally okay. A lot, you could be an introvert, or you may be like, Instagram live, I don't really know how to use Instagram live. I don't want to look crazy or things like that. And so the option that I'm given is for you to email me your best image that you would like me to show for you, and you would just give me a quick breakdown of it, and I can present the image for you. And that would be good as well, because people could still get the essence of what you created, and if you have any special message behind it. And so again, that's on Wednesday, May the 25th at 7 p.m. and it's going to be on Instagram live. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, that is my Instagram down below. It is going to be a fun. It's always, that's one thing I can say though. It's always a great time. Like once everybody breaks the ice, and you have that person that breaks the ice, it's always fun seeing what people created. So if you're into that type of thing, be on the lookout for that, because it's all about having fun. It's all about creating, and that's what we are trying to do. So, top 5 things that I would give to a person that is trying to start studio photography. We have some other people that mentioned. What's going on? I am Hassan. I'm kind of, I guess I was ranting just a bit too much. I was a little late in the comments, but that would be the 5 things that I called out. And I think it would be great for somebody just starting out. And when I say somebody, I always try to think about myself in the situation. Like, would I want somebody to recommend this to me, knowing what I know now? You know, everybody's like hindsight 2020, knowing what I know now. What would I do? XYZ. And I would feel solid about someone telling me a Godox MS300. I would be on board with somebody telling me a Easy Lock Glow 34-inch beauty dish. I would be solid with a white backdrop, the Mart Lightstands. Now, if I have a little budget, I would want somebody, honestly, I would want somebody to tell me about the Varipole system, because I would prefer that. And so that would be ideal. And then for the light stand, if you're not telling me to get the C-Stand with the boom arm, then you don't be telling me nothing. Like I 1000% would say get that, because I wouldn't want to tell somebody get something that costs $15, $20, $30 that's cheap, and then they just gonna have to end up replacing it anyway, right? So yeah, I try to keep it 1000% with the setup. All right, so that is what I wanted to talk with you all about. Make sure you check out this Creative Wednesday that we are going to have May the 25th. So this Wednesday coming up, bring your best images, share them live with T to the M to the IDD. Follow me if you're not following me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Y'all know that helps the channel, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing all this. So I appreciate all of you all tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button for me, please hit that like button for me. I appreciate that 10 million times more. And I think I have. See, all right. Let me tell y'all a story before I go. Let me give y'all one story before I go, because I think y'all gonna like this story. I think y'all gonna like this. Okay, so tomorrow I might potentially have a photo shoot that I will go live for. Now, if it don't happen, we're going to have to go to the comments of the model who flaked on us. And I'm about to let y'all see who it is right now. Because we as a community, we about to have to start sticking together for flakes. Matter of fact, we need to build some type of, like Beyonce has the Beehive, where if you say something wrong, they go into your IG. We need to do that as the T-Mig community. We need to band together. Whenever you have a flake, we come into the community and you just set off the flake alert, and then we go to that model's Instagram and we mid her. That's gonna be the term. We mid her. All in the comments, like flake, 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 flake. Hey, that's where I might be on to something right here, y'all. A database with universal flakes. That I might be on to something, and we can blackball them for too many flakes. And if they want to do a shoot, the price go up. I think I'm on to something. All right, so this is the model right here. Everybody in agreement with that flake potential flake petition. let me know. But this is supposed to be the model right here. Now, if you all recall, I did a video with her back in December, and her vibe, like she is cool. She has a great vibe, like without a doubt. So she's definitely fun to work with, and she said that she was gonna come back. Now it has been hard to get her schedule, kind of like, because she does hair for a living. So, like, you can't knock anybody that has their own business. And, so we doing this photo shoot, she just doing it for free, and I'm not paying for her time. Whereas she does hair for a living, so she has to make her money as well. So that's why I'm kind of like lenient with the fact that she's like, yeah, we can shoot. But then all this other stuff happens. So she's not able to do it. But we talked, and she said we potentially could do it tomorrow. So I may have her, her name is Aaliyah. So we may have her. We may have her tomorrow. If we have her, I will go live, and we're gonna create something. Cause last time, if you didn't see that video, let me know. Put that in the comments. Did you see that video that I did with her? Put that in the comments for me. Okay. All right, let's put this. All right, so if you did not see that video, I reimburse travel to make it a little more even if I shoot limited. Remember the tats. The tats are memorable. All right. So if y'all have not seen that video, definitely go check it out. Let me see, this be the thing. I be having to scroll back so far to even get to it. Yes, that was 4 months ago. Okay, so if y'all haven't seen it, make sure y'all go hit that like button and watch that. This is the video right here. Now this video right here, I believe this was the first time I used the 65-inch that I was telling you all about umbrella. That is the one that is behind her, and I used that to act as, it was kind of like a backlight, but then also the backdrop at the same time. And then I had these bejeweled type of breast cover-ups. Now you know it was a while ago, because the name was still NASA Boy TJ on this. So this was 4 months ago. But now you could check it out if you have not seen it. She is on the front cover of this. And let's see. It's a pretty quick video. 9 minutes. I have the final images. I'll say this. Let me show y'all. This is probably one of my favorite images from this set. This one. Shout out to NASA boy. That one. But then we put her on this backdrop right here. Listen, this backdrop right here, I recommend this backdrop too. It was just like, oh, we need that. We need that 4K. What am I doing? Oh, I'm probably asking it to do too much. Okay, but look, if y'all did not see this, just look at the colors. That's that Nikon color right there. Now this one was when I almost had to take this off of YouTube because it was, got a little bit situational right here, but it was still a nice, aesthetically pleasing pose and photo. I'm building a platform that you will be able to view the model live and the images when you take the photo in real time. Oh, that'll be dope. The colors are all right. Yeah, that's somebody that don't like Nikon. Look at these colors right here. Look at these colors right here. Come on. Is that all right, or is that, I mean, you let me know. Y'all let me know right there. Cause I don't understand it. Is that all right, or is that, y'all talk to me? We we got a few things going on now. So, Danny, how you doing? Yeah, man. If you haven't watched this, go check it out. This was like the ending of the year. 4 months ago, it was a phenomenal shoot. Like, these photos came out fire. Been on Canon for the last 40 years. Oh, I can respect that. Yeah. But yeah, this shoot just became straight fire. Way back. Just didn't like it. Ah, gotcha. So this is who we are going to potentially shoot tomorrow. And look, this image was just sharp too. Oh my goodness. You can see the texture on the face. I hate those lashes, but that's a story for another time. So, couple takeaways that we had done here. Look for that. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that, just for this creative session that we're gonna have there. And the one thing that I do like about it, as another point, is that it allows me to interact with you all with more than through the chat, because through here, through YouTube is mainly the chat. But if I transition through IG, then you get more options to interact. So May 25th is going to be the recap on that. One thing that I do want to ask you all before we go is they have Create NYC, formerly known as Photo Plus. So are any of you all planning on attending Create NYC, aka Photo Plus? It's in New York. It's in New York this year. The dates are September 29th to October 1st. And I can pull up that site for you all as well. Supposed to be a recreation. Okay. Okay. So this is the site, October 29th to October 1st. Create NYC. It is in Brooklyn. If you don't know about it, just kind of, take a look at the website. Create NYC Photo Plus. You got some of the brands that are going to be there: Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Panasonic, Olympus, Sigma, Zeiss, Tamron, Adobe, B&H, Epson. So you have like the major players right here that's going to be there. So that could be a pretty big deal right there, especially if you looking to connect with your brand. But I think they're gonna have a few things with creators and things like that. So check that out as well. All right, so that is it for me today. I appreciate all of you all tuning in and supporting this live. Again, if you did not hit the like button for me, just hit it on your way out. If you didn't see that last photo shoot I showed you, go check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know that you watched it. Tell me what you think. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that too. T to the M to the IDD. Peace.